Hello boils and ghouls, it's your friend Tats, and I'm back with another video. Today we're doing a brand new 4K review, and what we are going to be reviewing is the 1977 Wes Craven horror classic. I don't know. I mean, I know over the years people have pretty much come out and said, oh, the remake is so much better than the original. I don't agree with that, to be honest with you. In my opinion, the remake is... In the remake, the third act is the only thing that kind of really saves it. That's just only my opinion. But today we are going to review the new Arrow 4K Blu-ray release of 1977's The Hills Have Eyes. I like to say it came out in 1977 because this movie came out the year I was born. So that's kind of cool. A lot of good movies came out that year. But anyway, yeah, Arrow has now put out this beautiful little flick on 4K. And I'm very happy to have it. That's kind of the downside though with 4K though right now. I know so many people are like, why is this one getting a 4K really? What about this one? I know a lot of people because Arrow just put out Legend on Blu-ray. I know a lot of people are upset that they didn't do a 4K of that one yet. But anyway though, we got this one. And today, one thing that's going to be kind of nice is today I'm going to be a little bit more accurate because like when I did my review for Deep Red, I didn't have the Blu-ray to do a comparison with, but luckily for this one, I do have the Blu-ray to do a comparison with. So yeah, very similar looking. But first of all, okay, what do we got here? Unfortunately, there's not really much new from the Blu-ray edition to the 4K edition. In terms of bonus features, it's pretty much the same thing for the most part. What we have here, we have a brand new 4K restoration of the film, viewable with both original and alternate endings. 4K 2160p Ultra HD Blu-ray presentation and high dynamic range. Original lossless mono audio. Optional lossless 2.0 stereo and 7.1 remixes, original ending only. Optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. 6 postcards, reversible fold-out poster. That's one thing I'm happy about. I used to have the poster for this, but I left it in storage. So now I got a new poster. I just need to get a frame for it, and I can put it up. And put it up next to my Hills Have Eyes Part 2 poster. Okay, where are we at? Limited edition 40-page booklet featuring writing on the film by critic Brad Stevens and a consideration of the Hills franchise by Arrow producer Ewan Kent, illustrated with original archive stills and posters, audio commentaries with Michael Berryman, Janice Blythe, Susan Lanier, and Martin Spear, audio commentary by academic Michael J. Coven, audio commentary with Wes Craven and Peter Locke, looking back on The Hills Have Eyes, making of documentary, interviews with Craven, Locke, actors Michael Berryman, Janice Blythe, Robert Houston, Susan Lanier, Dee Wallace, and director of photography Eric Saarinen. Family Business, an interview with actor Martin Spear. The Desert Sessions, an interview with composer Don Peake. Outtakes, alternate ending, trailers and TV spots, image gallery, original screenplay, reversible sleeve featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Paul Shipper. And that's what we got. And I'm not going to hold this up for very long. I'm not going to read all this. I'm just going to kind of hold it up for a few seconds. This is the Blu-ray, and you can freeze on there if you want to read what's on there. You're going to find out is just about basically the exact same thing. So, but yeah, you can freeze on that if you want to read it. So, all right. Let's see. One thing that is different though, okay, there is a little bit of a difference because I know like a lot of people are looking at this, they're like, well, what's really the difference? Man, my God, here's kind of the big difference, as far as like the outer slipcase goes. Like on there, you get the synopsis and you get the bonus features. Here, the big difference is you get this little bit of artwork. There's Dee Wallace, Robert Houston with his gun. So that's kind of the thing that would kind of tell you the difference between the 4K slipcase and the Blu-ray slipcase. Now, as far as everything else goes, we'll look at the Blu-ray first. Okay, we have the clear plastic case for the Blu-ray, and you have the disc. Okay, you have Pluto and Mars on the disc art. And we set that aside. You see you have the reversible slipcover there. I chose the original poster art for this one because you have the commission cover art on the slipcase, and then we have our postcards, our collectible postcards here. We have Michael Berryman. I believe that's German. We have Mars. We have Brenda, Susan Lanier, which, by the way, if you get a chance, follow her on Facebook. She's really nice. Okay, we have this here. I believe this is the Italian poster, I want to say. This one here. And we have this here. Okay, so there's our postcards. And we have also the collectible booklet right here. Again, same as the back cover on the 4K. And you have the inside, and, some reviews and stuff, and you got like pictures, like there's Brenda on the floor, things like this. So anyway, so now that's what we got. Now, like I said, I no longer have the poster with the Blu-ray, but now I have it with the 4K. So now we have our 4K. I already showed you the back cover on here, and there we go. Nice. It is nice, in case if you intend to keep both your Blu-ray and your 4K, you can you have a little something that'll kind of tell you the difference. But also too, one thing that'll definitely give you the difference is the 4K case, because you got the typical black 4K case, and we got again, I put the original poster art, but you can use the reversible cover art as well. So got that. Just give me a second to put this all back. So, there we go. And again, we do have one tiny difference. We have pretty much the exact same postcards from the Blu-ray, so not very much difference, I'm afraid. So in terms of the packaging, just not really a whole lot of difference. I mean, enough to be significant, but one thing we do have, we have the werewolf. This is okay. This is for Arrow, I guess. I think they have a streaming service. I think that might be what that's for. And then we look inside. We have the disc, the same exact disc art as the Blu-ray. The only difference is it has the Ultra HD symbol on there. So looks very much similar and not too much in difference. But anyway, and we got. Okay. We have the exact same booklet here, and you can tell it's the same thing, and pretty much. So yeah. So not much different there. But like I said, now the one thing I'm really happy about is I got my poster back. So can't wait to get a frame and put this baby up again. We have this. Flip it over. You have the original poster. So that's cool. Really glad to have that back. All right, so now we got done with that part. We could go ahead and we'll start talking about as to the transfer itself. Now, I did a comparison, and the sound does seem to be a little bit better on the 4K. It does seem like I noticed that it's like it plays very well, and I noticed this has really good sound on it. As a matter of fact, I had to kind of turn the sound down, because it was just a little bit too loud. But also, as far as the picture quality goes, I do have to admit that the change in the picture quality is minimal, but it is there. One thing that I really noticed the difference was the nighttime scenes. And usually, now see, Hills Have Eyes was a movie I first saw it on VHS, and then I saw it on DVD, then Blu-ray, and now 4K. And one thing I always kind of noticed was just that a lot of the times watching it on, especially like VHS or DVD, it seemed like the desert landscape wasn't particularly, shown in the shot. A lot of the times, like in the nighttime scenes, when somebody's out in the desert at night, it just kind of looks like they're just surrounded by dark. You never really get a sense of the desert. You never get a real sense of location as to where they're at. It just kind of always looks like to me personally, it just kind of always looked like everybody just always kind of walking around this dark void. At least is what it looked like to me. And one thing that I noticed that the 4K really did was that it really brings out the detail as far as the desert landscape. Now, I don't know how, I don't know how that's going to affect some people as far as their viewing experience goes. There might be some people who, saw it on VHS or saw it on DVD and noticed that, yeah, people seeming like they're kind of in this dark void, and, to them it might seem scarier. But it's a matter of taste, I believe. So, but one thing you definitely get a bigger sense of is you get the sense of location as to where they're at in the desert. There's more detail as far as like the desert landscape goes, especially in the night scenes. The daytime scenes doesn't really differ much from the nighttime scenes. It kind of seems like the 4K and the HDR really does flex its muscles during the nighttime sequences. Also, too, it definitely, you do get a bit of, in the picture quality, you do get a bit of higher grain content, which, personally I like because, like I said, the remake was okay. I much prefer this one over the remake. That's just my opinion. But one thing I thought about the remake was a little too slick looking. It was a little too polished. Whereas this, kind of similar to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, this has that nice kind of grainy, almost documentary feel to it, and it just has that kind of gritty feel to it, which I really like, and especially like in the trailer massacre scene and things like this. But like I said, it's a matter of taste. But yeah, you do get quite a bit more grain content. But then again, too, you got to remember this was a low budget shot on. I believe it was shot on 16 millimeter film. And it was, as a matter of fact, they even say in the, I don't remember if it was the documentary or the commentary, but, Wes Craven did say that they borrowed the equipment from an adult film company and everything. So, so it wasn't really the highest quality, film equipment to be making a movie on, but still. So it's just a matter of taste, I think, and to me, I like it. I like the way it looks. I think the 4K looks really good on here. It's just, that's the only downside though, is like the picture quality is really, it's very minimal compared to the Blu-ray. They did an absolutely outstanding job on the Blu-ray. And like I said, just that there's just not a lot of real big difference, Like I said, the difference is there, but it just seems minimal. If you have the Blu-ray, it's like it's not going to hurt you. But overall, like I love this movie. I'm a huge Wes Craven fan. I've always been a fan of his. This is a movie I watched like a dozen times as a kid, and I just really love it. And I'm glad that this is out on 4K. I'm pleased to own it on 4K. I didn't have not, it's like usually I get irritated having to buy the same movies over and over again, but this one I had no problem with just because I love it so much. And but now it kind of boils down to is it worth the money? I mean, when you look at everything here, everything looks very similar to the Blu-ray. One thing I will say though, if you have the 2-disc Anchor Bay edition, I would say, you know what, you might not want to get rid of that. And the reason why I say that is because on the 2-disc Anchor Bay edition, you do have the hour-long feature of the TV show The Directors, where they profile Wes Craven on there. And unfortunately, that was a bonus feature that they never transported over from the Blu-ray or the 4K. It's not on either one. So I would definitely say if you still have the 2-disc Anchor Bay special edition, I would say you might want to keep it just if you want that, that feature about Wes Craven. But as far as like, okay, the Blu-ray or the 4K go, do I think that the 4K of this movie is worth it? This is probably going to sound biased, but to me, yes, it's absolutely worth it because just, it's such a good movie, and, if to finally have it in 4K and a wonderful edition. Like I said, especially in the nighttime scenes, you get more, a sense of depth, and you get more of an idea of where everything is, and, in terms of location and where the characters are at and things like this. So to me personally, yeah, it's absolutely worth it, even if the packaging is incredibly almost like 98% similar to the Blu-ray. I would personally say, yeah, I would say it's definitely worth it. And plus, you still get it in a nice edition. You get it in the sturdy box. So personally, I think it's worth it. But I would say if you're not, if you're not really huge on 4K, like I know, for example, like Cinema Sickness, he has 4K and stuff, but over and over and over again, a lot of his videos, he's always saying, I don't really need all the stuff on 4K, and 4K is just more of a luxury and stuff like that. So if you're that kind of person, if you have this, you don't really need the upgrade. Not really. I mean, if you have this, if you're not into 4K and you're just kind of maybe a kind of casual fan of this movie, I would say go ahead and do it, or just hang on to this instead, and you'd be perfectly fine. The picture quality looks fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly watchable, but I would say, yeah, if you are a 4K fan, and even if you're not the biggest 4K fan, but you are an absolute diehard fan of this movie like I am, then yeah, you're definitely going to want to get this and have it in your collection. It's worth it. In my opinion, it's totally worth it. The sound, like I said, the sound on this is fantastic. The picture quality, in my opinion, yeah, not a huge difference from the Blu-ray, but still enough to notice. So that's it. So yeah, in my opinion, The Hills Have Eyes on 4K, yeah, definitely worth the pickup. So that's going to do it. So sorry this video ran a little bit long, but I just kind of wanted to show the comparison between the two. So if anybody took the time to watch this, I thank you for doing it, and I appreciate you for doing it. I honestly hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave it a like. If you haven't already, go and subscribe to my channel. Hopefully going to have a lot more content coming your way. And that's it, my boils and ghouls. Take care, have a good night, and I'll see you later.